Welcome to the recap of the Walking Dead universe. We are here live every week during the show season to discuss the latest episode. You can catch our episode reviews at any time, available on most podcast platforms. Get new and past episodes for free in the app of your choice, including YouTube. For those of you joining us live today, thanks for taking time out of your evening to be here. I am your host, Tamara, and I love a good TV show and a good book. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me pretty much everywhere at the Recap Pods. And if you're into books, you can also find me at Shelf Addiction. Joining me is show co-host Lisa. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey, Tamara. Hey, everyone. My name is Lisa Orban. I am an author. I am also the founder of Indies United Publishing House, and I love all things pop culture. So if you would like to connect with me online, you can find me pretty much everywhere at Lisa Orban Author or at Indies United Pub.
So before we dive in, a few quick things. First, we want to hear from you. If you're live, use the YouTube comment section. If you're on the replay, you can still comment or use the SpeakPipe link in the show notes to leave us a voicemail. Second, please hit that subscribe button. Follow us so you never miss an episode. All of the links for both me and Lisa are in the show notes, so you can find us on our socials. And finally, but most importantly, we are laid back in our review style, right, Lisa?
Oh, absolutely, Tamara. This is a conversation, not a dissertation.
Exactly. No scene by scene breakdowns here. We jump around. And of course, huge spoiler alert for everything in the world through yesterday's episode. If you're cool with that, this is the place for you. And we should just jump right on in. Okay. Episode 6. One more to go.
Yep.
What'd you think?
This was way more intense than last week's.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, tell me why.
Well, let's see. We had poisonings and a lot of threats and a lot of fighting. And it just seemed like a little more of a tense episode.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's totally fair. Did I like it more than last week's episode? I'm gonna say no for me, but I liked it just, fine. They kept with the formula, which I enjoy for this show. And yeah, all good stuff, really. I honestly don't have that many complaints. So that's good.
I don't know who made that lock for the back of the truck, but I got to tell you, they must have been master craftsmen or made it out of titanium or something.
Okay, so I kind of suspected he would not be able to get that lock off. I thought, we need him to fail at something, and it's going to be that lock.
And he did. Although it does kind of surprise me a little bit. I mean, knowing that they were going to go in and try to break this lock, why they didn't bring something bigger for more leverage.
The only thing I can think is they didn't have it. They just didn't have it.
Yeah.
Because it would have made sense to have something, bring it with you, right? They had made all these grand plans. That would have been a big miss if they had something and they just forgot it or didn't think to bring it. That would have been a mess. So I'm going to say they didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And poor Daryl, he looks so sad. He was so kind of upset that he couldn't do it,
Yeah.
I think he was shocked that he didn't get her free,
Well, he's usually pretty good at these things, breaking into things, getting stuff, all that. And he failed.
He did fail. And I think that's good for him. He needs to fail at something. But that also moves the story forward. So
yeah. And they're moving on from Barcelona now. They're going to go to their next stop.
Right. Which is, I think, the home base for these people, right?
It might be, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be interesting. Just from the little quick preview I saw, I'm like, okay. Yeah, because the girls are all cleaned up and wearing other outfits. So yeah, it looks like they're going somewhere like that. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. But I like that, he didn't win. I guess he had to take a loss and now he has to go on and keep fighting. Although I must say that seriously sucks that he dragged those people into that did not win, did not accomplish what he needed, and old girl's, pa's friend died. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like
And she died, and they let all those walkers loose.
yeah,
You
what
know,
a mess.
it was not a win for them that day.
No, it was a complete loss all
Mhm.
around, a real mess, and that kinda like we mentioned before, that kinda follows Daryl, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Daryl, it really is the curse of the group that we have been
Mhm,
following since The Walking Dead. It seems like
mhm,
every time they go somewhere, it just shit goes south.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to, like, be resourceful, and to be fair, Daryl did tell Paz, "Hey, we don't need help, we can just do it on our own."
Yeah.
And she said, "No, I know people." So they went, and now this is the result. But I must say, I was also surprised that even after everything was said and done, for her to be so happy to have seen her friend, she didn't even seem that sad when the girl died.
Yeah.
I'm like, "That was odd, right?"
Well, I mean, she could just be really good at masking it, but yeah, I thought she'd be a little sadder.
Yeah, sh it was like, "Oh, well, what's next?" It's like, "Dang."
"All right, we're moving on to the next city, let's go. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
leave terribly sorry for your loss, and now we're moving on. So,
yeah, like,
you take care
no
of them girls." Yeah.
no, nothing. It was so weird to me. I just thought that just didn't seem right, being that, she lived there with them for a while before she moved on.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. She talked them into it, the girl dies, and she's like, "Well, thanks for the help, so sorry."
And all those guards that they had tied up, they didn't make it either.
Oh, no, they died.
Oh, they definitely died.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're wrecking balls. Anyone associated with our main group. They come in, just wreck some stuff, and then keep it moving.
And
People
now
die.
now I will say that, Daryl did a pretty good job of not, bringing a wrecking ball through the lepers. I mean, that was new.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. He was successful there. Yeah, that's true. I guess he doesn't do it every single time. But I guess kind of the fact that we're meeting and discarding new groups is kind of like the old Walking Dead, you know? Kind of feels like that to me, like, but sped up a little
Mhm.
bit. Like,
Yeah.
instead of spending a whole season with only one group, trying to deal with one group, we're, like, flying through them by episodes.
Mhm.
Meet, discard, meet, discard. So I wonder what's gonna be next. We're gonna meet another group? Is he gonna get more help? Is he gonna be a solo, just him and Paz? I don't know.
I
I
have
don't know.
no idea.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see what they end up doing with it. I think actually the fact that they're deciding to do that, or they decided to do that with this season, is making this season move faster to me than
Yeah.
versus last season,
Mhm.
or even the season before, the first season.
I mean, they were traveling, or was it last season? Yeah. They were traveling and stuff, but it wasn't like but there was like a core group that they were sticking with.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Um, and then well, no, actually Daryl was pretty much which is they were there at the sanctuary, at the church, the giant
Right.
place at the end of the world. But,
Mhm.
the season before that, they had been moving around a lot, but, you know
Yeah. I like this though because the show, they have to kill people. That's just a part of living in a world with zombies. People have to die and people have to turn and be eaten. And there's no easier way to do that than with a bunch of people that we just met and we are not invested in them. So,
Right. Mhm.
mhm.
You know? Now Roberto, on the other hand, he's having kind of a rough time of things.
I okay, that poor kid. He's getting quote unquote healed, but instead he's getting poisoned. How dreadful.
Yeah. Well, and he seemed to have been doing better, and then he was not.
No, he was not. I guess, do you think like Fede gave his mom some poison and she just didn't know? Because clearly when toward the end, she helped Carol, so I'm thinking she just
Yeah.
didn't know.
I don't think she knew.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, I don't think she would have helped.
Like,
She
that's
would have just
crossing the
turned
line.
she would have just turned Carol in.
Yeah. Well, that was a way to find out with the cat. I'm like, "Not the
Mhm.
cat." I shoulda known when he was sitting there when Antonio was sitting there holding the cat. I'm like, "Oh, no."
The
Thinking back in retrospect, I'm like, that was probably a sign that the cat was not gonna be around for long."
No, we have seen the cat here and there this
Mhm.
season, but not he the cat got a lot of airtime this episode.
Mhm. It did. It was eating out of the bowl, and she shooed him away. It was kind of obvious.
Mhm.
Now that, I think about it, I'm like, "Uh-oh, poor cat. I can't
Yeah.
believe they killed an animal." Oh, wow.
Now the shower scene was actually pretty funny.
Okay, girl, I was laughing. I said, "Oh, Man Without Clothes." She hasn't seen that in a long time. Uh, she was stunned. I think very discombobulated. She didn't know how to react to that,
Yeah.
but to run away.
No, I just needed a screwdriver.
Just gonna
Um,
look around anywhere but at you.
yeah. I'll just keep looking and then I'm gonna
Yeah. And he's, like, not really that bothered. I think he was kinda surprised by her, but then he's like, "Oh, there's plenty of hot water." And she like, "What? I'm outta here."
and he's like, I didn't mean with me. I just
Not
meant
like that.
in general. Yeah.
Well, I kinda was waiting for something, and, she did get a little lip action there at the end of the thing, so she finally got to, I guess, have a mini sample of the local wine,
Yes, yes, yes.
which I like that for Carol. I liked it a lot. I'm like, "That's really cute," and that really makes me hope that he does end up leaving with them. I
Yeah.
would love that for her. She deserves it.
Yeah, she's had she's had a few people that she has loved.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, she was married to a king once.
Mhm. Mhm.
She was Queen Carol. Remember that?
I
Yeah.
do.
Wouldn't they be surprised to know at one point she had been called Queen Carol? Uh, but but yeah, yeah, this is different. This is a different kind of relationship than she's had before in the past.
Yeah, this guy, he has a lot of regret
Mhm.
for things he's done. He said he is to blame, you know what I mean, for the death of his wife
Yeah.
and Roberto's mother. So I think that is a level of heavy that Carol can relate to,
Mhm.
So I think they connect on a different way than she was able to with her previous husband.
Yeah.
So maybe this one might work out.
Well, if he lives that long,
If
you
he
know.
lives that long, I know. Who knows if that will happen, but I kinda like it. I like, they're both some really damaged people, and they somehow connected even, over the course of a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And you
like
can
them.
tell that Carol is getting back to her more competent self,
Mhm.
um, just by the way she was handling, her handgun when she got
Mm.
stopped.
Mhm.
She wasn't acting confused. She was
No.
she was very deliberately moving, and I'm like, "Hey, look, Carol's back." Yeah.
She was ready to just start shooting.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
ready. And yeah, I think she's been kinda back, but I think you're right. That kinda did show us, like, she's for real now. She's got a purpose, and she's not
Mhm.
messing around, and she is fully 100% there.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
she's been up until really this episode, she had been I mean, she was still kinda there, but a little spacey.
Mm,
Almost kinda like she was walking around in a slight daze, like
mm,
someone who's
mm.
been for far too long. they're there, but, they're not quite.
Mhm.
And, watching her, put her hand on her, on a handgun and, the way she was sliding through and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, there we go. There's Tara. We found her." Yeah, she's back.
Yeah, her character though has always kind of done a really good job seeming innocent and
Mhm.
soft,
Yeah,
but also being hard, and people who don't know her don't know that.
yeah,
So I think even though she kinda had a deficit from that head wound, the people in that town couldn't tell. They just probably thought that was her,
right, right.
you know? Um,
But we know.
we know. Yeah, that poor kid, he's back there under the solar panel
Mhm.
with his head sticking out. I'm like, "She didn't even hide him that well." They should have saw him the minute they looked in the back of that truck.
Oh, absolutely. They should've I don't know, they should've put, like, a sheet of plywood down or a plank or I don't know, something. They should have hidden him better.
Yeah, because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, they're gonna see him and it's gonna be like a fight or something," and that didn't happen. But I guess we're supposed to just, I guess, suspend disbelief for that, but there's no way they didn't see him. That was horrible hiding.
Yes.
But, yeah, she actually got saved by, her boyfriend. He came up and said, "Hey, what's going on? Are we a
Mhm.
prison now? We can't let people leave," and starts telling everyone the business, which is he's gonna pay for later. He's gonna pay for later.
Oh, yeah. Which is part of the reason why Daryl's like, feigning ignorance is probably our best bet here because, Feda's not gonna be real happy about any of this.
No. No, but now okay, so remember you had a theory about their relationship.
I was wrong.
Yeah,
Well, I was and I mean, I was wrong, but it does turn out he did have, he had an unrequited love with, Roberta's mother,
yes.
and, he was pretty salty. He's still salty about it.
Yeah, he had her picture still.
Yeah.
Like, that's been a long time, and that was never your person, so what
Mhm.
is that? That's kinda creepy.
Well, when I first saw the picture, I'm like, "Ooh, maybe I'm right."
Mhm,
She had an affair or something, and,
mhm.
you know, that's why he doesn't want the 2 of them together, but no, it's mostly because he's he's a selfish little, you know
He's such a baby, like, he whines and he tries to cheat all the time. So, again, I still don't think he's, quote, unquote, like, a villain exactly,
he's just
but
petty.
yeah, he's very petty, and to the point though, I guess when you try to kill an innocent child, that does make you a villain,
Yeah.
just because you didn't want the truth to get out. So I guess, yeah, that he's turned villain, that and that alone would make him a villain, because he wasn't trying to kill someone for well, I guess in his mind, it's for the good of the group, but
Right. But
it's
mostly it's just to
twisted.
help secure his position with the village,
Right.
to make sure nothing upsets his apple cart.
Mhm. Mm. Well, I did like that we did see the history of Antonio and his wife and what
Mhm.
happened with that. That was jarring. The way that explosion killed her
Mhm.
and explains how his face looks the
Got
way it does.
Yeah, I got so disfigured.
Yeah, yeah. But that was wild. Like, so she was helping him with something she didn't believe in, but she was doing it because he wanted.
Uh-huh.
And then she dies for it, and I think that was unique how they decided to show it through a movie instead of a
Mhm.
flashback. I thought that was different. We have enough flashbacks, so it was nice that they switched it up.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, he was filming this. He was trying to
Yeah,
make a documentary.
right.
Although considering his wife had just died in an explosion and his face had gotten, sheared almost off, and the walking or the dead rose at that particular moment. The fact that he managed to remember to take his film gear is, pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, when people started waking up and his wife started moving, I
Mhm.
would have think that would just make someone just wanna run, but, he stopped and got his camera, so
I mean, he may have had his camera with him, I don't know,
maybe?
but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna assume considering the time frame, I mean, I guess it could have been small, but
Mhm.
I don't know how small it would have been if it was a professional camera.
Not that small. I don't know. I guess we didn't see the camera, but I guess anything's possible, but I thought that was really interesting, and you can see why he carries the guilt, and, of course, anytime someone makes a confession like that, someone's there to hear it that they don't want to.
Well, yeah, and it's not if he had just quietly told her off in a corner somewhere,
No, instead, he's crying and yelling that it's his fault.
you know, pounding on his chest, "It's my
E
fault." And, yeah,
Which it was his fault technically, that's why she was there,
yeah,
because of him, but that's unfortunate that his son had to find out that way.
yeah. And and I understand why he didn't, but he probably should have told Roberto what had happened a long ago.
Mhm. But you know how the parents are. They're like, "When is the right time to tell something like that?" There is no right time, but that's the excuse they use.
Although
"Oh,
I am curious because he would have had to have confessed for anyone to know what happened because she died on the same day that, again, the dead woke up.
right.
He didn't have to admit to anything to anyone. Feta didn't need to know. How did he know unless he saw the film footage?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we may or may not find that out. I don't know. Maybe he confided in him
Yeah.
about it,
So, yeah.
and he's
I
like,
get the
"You
impression
killed
that
my coulda, woulda, maybe girlfriend."
well, I kind of get the impression that at one point in time they may have been friends.
It seems like that, does it seems that way for sure.
That at one point, kind of like, that song Jesse's Girl. I want Jesse's Girl.
Mhm,
Um, that they were friends, and then when Feta lost out, he was not happy.
mhm,
But yeah, I mean, you're right. I suppose Antonio could have just confided to him because he needed to confide in somebody,
and he
and
wasn't gonna tell his son.
right, and probably thought he could trust him because they had been friends. That would make sense,
Mhm,
and why no one else knows.
mhm.
So,
Well, now everyone's gonna know.
yep,
Feel
because
like
he owned it.
yeah, he owned it, everyone's gonna know, and I think Fede is gonna try to make him look like the villain in all of this after his outburst, you know?
Hmm.
So, I wonder if his mother will h Fede's mother, the old woman, will help him, out of
Hmm.
being tortured or whatever he ends up doing to him. Because it seems like she's got a line, obviously, she's got a line in the sand,
Hmm.
so I wonder if this is a step too far as well.
It might be.
Mhm,
Y- in a lot of ways, this community has been compared to a lot of other places fairly untouched by what's happened to the world outside.
mhm,
Um, they still have all of their possessions. They're still in their ancestral village. The women are still wearing the skirts and the kerchiefs, and um, so this is that compared to a lot of other places, they're very soft.
mhm,
But I'm kind of hoping that the people around there go, okay, maybe this is a bridge too far. We've been giving out our girls, and we find out that Fed has been lying to us about a lot of things
yeah.
and come around or not. It's
Well,
really it's hard to say.
I think Carol planted in his mother's head that Fede is a liar.
Mhm.
So I think it's totally possible she would turn on him for his own good, you know, and maybe he'll admit some of the stuff. I don't know. But Carol was very smart when she got busted to like use the word she had and
Mhm.
not get shot. I thought that scene was pretty good. She's like, he is a liar. He lies.
Yeah.
So now it's like once you hear something, you can't unring the bell.
Right.
So I think at the very least, the truth will come out about him to the community, and maybe he doesn't survive the next episode. I don't know.
Mhm. Well, and I did think so we did find out in this episode that this whole rounding up of the girls was
Mhm.
apparently supposed to be a one-time thing.
Yeah.
They were only supposed to do it once for repopulation or, whatever.
Right.
And now it's turned into an annual event. And I don't know how many girls they're gathering up. They had, what, 2 or 3 in the back of that truck.
Honestly, it sounds just like trafficking.
Mhm. And they're gonna go to at least one more place. And when we saw the previews for next week, we saw a line of girls, probably about
Mhm.
6 of them. So and when we were at that sanctuary, we found out that a lot of the girls, the girls that could escape and have escaped have
Mhm.
gone there.
Right.
And a lot of their fates doesn't apparently seem to be good
No, not at all. I mean, the one girl who was playing the instrument, they said, she didn't really speak.
for 3 months.
Yeah, for 3 months. Like, what in the heck is going on? What are they doing to people? It's not good. It never is. I mean, honestly, from day 1 when we found out they were coming around, like, collecting girls through a lottery,
Right.
basically.
And then not
No
letting
good.
those girls ever, speak to their families again.
Yeah,
You know,
nothing good can be going on.
no, no. It would be different if, their families were allowed to go see them and this was like, more of a cultural exchange, so to speak, where it was a little more on the up and up. Be slightly different. Or if the girls
Yeah.
volunteered to go, "Oh, I'd like to go live in court," you know,
Mhm.
and be a lady in waiting or whatever. But, yeah, that's not what's happening here.
No. I mean, even Guillermo, that's his name, right?
Mhm.
He's looking at that girl like, what have you done? You know? Like, what are you looking at? What that whole scene when the fight was breaking out and she spotted Pause, he saw that.
Mhm.
He's gonna show what a evil person he is. It's gonna come out even
Oh, yeah.
more next episode. We're gonna
I
see
mean,
some of
it's
that.
barely below the surface as it is, and he
Yeah.
is not a nice person.
No. It's gonna be all bad. When it comes out next week, it's gonna be horrific. We're gonna all be like, "Oh my gosh." And if it's not, I'm gonna be mad because that means that they oversold it. You know what I mean? It better be
Mhm.
bad. And Daryl's gonna rescue them from that life of misery.
Something tells me that, because he couldn't get the 2 girls, this time, that when he goes
Mhm.
in there, it's gonna be, "Free them all."
Yes, it is. That's exactly what's gonna happen. He's gonna see what's going on, and then suddenly he's gotta let all of them help all of them get away. And that's just the right thing to do. He would, Daryl has a line as well.
Mhm.
So I think that's what would happen. He's gonna go there with the intent of getting 2 people, and he's gonna come out with, I don't know, 15 or 20?
Maybe a lot more than that,
Yeah,
because 'cause they've been doing this since shortly after the world fell apart.
yeah. Assuming all the girls are still in the same location together.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's pretty
say
crazy.
probably between 10 and 20.
Mhm. This payoff better be worth it. it better. Please do not land flat. After all of this, you have people being kidnapped. We're seeing people in a like jailed basically in a
Mhm.
carriage. Like they are really building this up to be like basically, like I said, trafficking. And it better be a payoff and not something stupid. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Now I am kinda curious,
Yeah.
um, because she was kinda walking freely when Roberto, you know, pirate ran away with her. I'm
Right.
wondering if they put him in this locked truck simply because of that happening. If
Well,
they had if they had
prob
not been locked up like this prior to that.
probably that would make sense to me because I'm pretty sure that all the girls have been brainwashed to think that this is their duty, this is what they're supposed to do. So I'm sure very few of them actually tried to run away at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
I'm sure it happens, but not very often. So I don't know. I gotta imagine they just had that, but maybe they weren't in it, you know,
Mhm.
like a plan B if they act up, put them in there maybe.
Yeah. Or they could have been, I mean, the bars could have been there and stuff before, but the lock was added.
Mm-hmm. That too. I don't know if we'll get that level of detail though, but
I
it's
doubt it.
interesting to think about, Yeah,
Because
because
again,
they were.
she was wandering fairly freely around that camp.
Yeah. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
all kind of resting, right? They
Mhm.
were. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. She did say, "I'll be right back," right? And she just walked off.
Yep.
So it does seem like that they, or at least she was pretty much free at that
Well,
point.
and again, like you said, it's when these girls get taken, I don't think they have that many they don't really have good, survival skills. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, they probably figured none of these girls would take up, particularly at night,
Mhm.
stray away from the security, the safety of, the guys that have the guns.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, why would they? Because we've been told more than once, especially at the beginning of this, how unprepared Roberto and Justina were to even be out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they would not anticipate those girls running off in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
So that was a fluke.
And honestly, I gotta tell you, if they had run off, I would've they didn't even get as far as the light tower before they had to go and frolic in the water, you
Yeah,
know? Um, if they had gone to the light tower, I'm pretty sure they could have hid out there for a little while, but
probably.
no, they made it less than a day's walk away from the place before they decided to, just clown around.
That's some kid stuff right there.
Mhm.
Like, you're not even out of the get away from where you're trying to get away from before you relax.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. And I think I felt like that when it first happened. I'm like, they're so close to their home. What
Mhm.
is this, a day trip?
Yeah. I mean, they yeah, there was no situational awareness going on there.
No.
I mean, for God's sakes, Carol was just standing there watching.
Yes. Yeah. Which also makes me wonder, why did Roberto even think that he could run away with her? Obviously, the kid can't barely drive either.
Yeah.
What a cluster. Like, they are just acting with their feelings and not with their heads, as teenagers do.
As they tend to do, yes.
Yeah. Leave it to the adults to rescue everyone because y'all crazy.
Well, and I mean, and, Roberto's dad, I mean, they've commented several times, "You can't handle it out there. You don't know how to survive out there. You wouldn't last one day by yourself." And
Right.
honestly, they're probably not wrong.
Right.
But then again, that could probably be said for most of the people inside that town.
Which I don't understand that. I don't, because how I think that's really irresponsible to have people unprepared to defend themselves,
It
like,
is.
unprepared, completely unprepared. That is so irresponsible. I don't quite understand that, but I guess maybe that's maybe something that Fede would want, "Hey, I protect you with these things that we get, and we've got it. The small handful of us that can use the weapons, we've got you protected, and that's
Mhm.
it."
And I don't think I get the impression that there's not a lot of walkers
Mhm.
around there. I mean, there are a few, but I don't I get the impression this isn't, it's not like New York or, a lot of the heavily populated areas.
Well,
Um,
you have a bunch of them on the premises for security
mhm.
or punishment or whatever you wanna use them for. That and that alone, I would have people prepared just in case one got out.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So,
don't know.
but
That's
we've
all
noted,
crazy.
but we've seen this before in a lot of the gated communities. The
Yeah.
people really don't know how to, they didn't have to cope because they weren't forced to.
Mhm.
So things are different than, from than the before times, but again, the city, it's probably not markedly different than it had been 100 years prior.
Mhm.
A small number of people and, not, I mean, some electricity, but not a lot of candlelight. They seem to be living very similar to probably the same way they lived in that village 100 years prior.
Probably. Mm.
And it's not a terrible thing. Not every, it shouldn't, you shouldn't be living in misery, but they really should be better prepared. But a lot of communities are like that. They just don't prepare their people for the new reality. They protect them from it instead.
Which always goes left. It always goes wrong on this
Mhm.
show. It never works out where people who don't know how to defend themselves don't ever need to,
Yeah.
which I guess makes it an easy kind of, I guess, plot device to keep using over and over and over again. Because, people would do that in the real world. They would act like that in the real world.
Yeah.
So it's easy.
Mhm.
Mm. There were a lot of the dead in Barcelona.
Mhm. There were.
Yeah,
And they were a little more prepared to take care of themselves there too, weren't they? Yeah.
they were. They were. Yeah, that whole group.
Mhm.
Well, we don't know every single person in that group, but the people in the group that we saw, they seemed like they were pretty much prepared to deal with anything.
Mhm.
I mean, people show up and they have, crossbows
And,
at their
and
heads.
they had crossbows and they had, regular bow and arrows or,
Mhm.
compound bows.
Mhm.
And, yeah. And they were looking pretty Robin Hoodie.
Yeah, they were. Daryl's like, "Hey, nice crossbow."
Yeah.
He like, "Hey, I used to use one."
I used to have one of those. I miss
Yeah.
it.
And they
It
weren't fearful when they came up with the plan. They seemed like, they seemed like they knew what they were doing. The plan seemed solid,
Mhm.
it checked all the boxes to be
Yeah.
successful, and it just wasn't.
Now, honestly, if I had been them, since they couldn't get the lock open, I would have just taken the people that were driving the truck out and put it in reverse and just taken off with the whole truck.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Well,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, they had options.
Yeah, they did have some options, but instead, you know
Mhm,
and I can't remember the blonde's name, but, the whole key, they were there to take out Guillermo.
mhm,
They were like, "Let's take him out." That was how they
and you
talked
could
them
kill a
into doing it.
yeah. We'll get the girls and you can kill a king.
Right. And so when that looked like it wasn't gonna happen, and of course, Paz goes over there because her girlfriend's in the truck
Mhm,
and pushes her away when she goes to put that launcher thing at them. I'm like, that is so okay. I get it. You don't want your friend, your girlfriend, whatever, to be killed. I understand. But I was so irate. I'm like, how dare you?
Yeah, I know. I honestly, I felt the same way. I'm like, oh man, she's gonna, ah,
She's gonna wreck it. And because of that, of course, the girl tries something else to get him, and instead she gets shot.
yeah,
Like, that's your fault. Pause. You should at least feel bad about it.
yeah.
That is,
Because they
I
could have
don't
at
know.
least killed the king at that point. If they had killed the king, things might have turned out moderately different. They
Right.
might have been able to save the other girls.
Right. I don't know. But what a cluster. That just totally, it went, that whole plan just sank.
Mm-hmm.
It just fell apart. But I
Mostly
guess we
because
should
of a
expect
lock.
nothing less.
If the lock hadn't have been quite so good, it wouldn't have been quite so bad.
Hey, they wanted their merchandise. They traded good stuff for these girls. They didn't want them running away again.
Yeah. Like I said, if I had been Daryl, I would have just pulled the driver out, slammed it into reverse, and tried to get out of there.
Well,
Because there seems to be a lot of things in that truck. So,
let me just say, I think that Justina is useless. The reason why I say this is because she tells Daryl that the guy has keys. You've seen him use the keys.
Mhm.
Why didn't you tell him which key it was?
I don't know.
You got him up there trying to use, like, just try every key. Weren't you paying attention? If I was locked up somewhere and a guy had keys, I would be paying attention to which
To which
key he
key?
used.
Yeah, I would have
Because when
too.
I get away, I might need to hurry up and use that key.
And I agree with you.
Stupid. I cannot. Why are they so stupid? That kind of stuff, I hate it. I hate it so bad. Like, come on. That whole thing, it was pointless. It didn't have to go down like that.
Yeah, I know. But now it gives me an excuse to go to the next city and rescue more girls.
I know. Just get a little bit more creative. And there could have been another way that did not work out without it being so obviously stupid. Maybe I'm expecting too much for the writers to think of something a little more complex than that. I don't know. Mm.
But they gave us a good fight scene, so that's what matters.
That was a good scene. I can't. I can't with the stupidity. I want to know, you guys listening, am I being too much? Is this too much? Should I just accept it and be like, oh, Christina didn't know. She's just a girl. No, I'm not. Tell me what y'all think. I just think it's so stupid. And you're right, Lisa. Even Daryl could have thought, well, let me just take out the drivers in the front.
Yeah.
Then they can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
How about that? But no, not that either.
Like I said, if I had been him, I would have jumped in. I mean, and obviously other cars could get in because other cars got in.
Mm-hmm.
So he could have put it in reverse and got out.
Mm-hmm. That's
Just
true.
saying.
Yeah, it's true. But I know what they were trying to do with it, and I'm okay with them not letting the girls be rescued, right? I understood why they were doing it. I just wish they made it a little different, laid it out a little differently. There could
But
have
they
been
wanted to
something
give
else.
Daryl that scene with her and the whole, don't leave us kind of thing.
Yeah, he's holding on to her wrist. I'm like, are you going to run behind them? What's going on here?
Yeah. That's
You
not going to
can't
work
pull
out
her
too well.
out. So I don't know. He was getting a little emotional, not using his brain.
Yeah. And he does that sometimes.
Mm-hmm. He's still looking so sad. Like, he's looking like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened.
I'm looking at her. I held her
Yeah.
hand. And now
Yeah.
she's leaving.
Right. Like,
Shit.
what was that? Like, dang. Boy, Daryl had some more flashbacks while he was sleeping or trying to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yep. Him and his brother and his dad.
Mhm. Which is, again, I still stand by what I said last week. I wanna see what the end results of these dreams is. What is the end of the dream that we're supposed to see? What How will this resolve something for Daryl? What will be resolved by figuring out this dream, if anything? So, because it was kinda like just thrown in there, anytime he's trying to sleep, he's just having these dreams,
Hmm.
which was never a thing before, so.
Well, it seems to be brought on by what happened in the tunnels.
Mhm,
Because he's been having him ever since they got out of the bat guano tunnels.
mhm,
But I'm kind of wondering, because we don't really know what happened to Daryl's dad. We do know that him and Daryl and his brother were on their own for a while before the end of the world.
do you think Merle killed their father?
I think so, yeah.
Hmm,
So I'm
yeah,
wondering if that's what this is the day his dad dies.
mhm, wow, that wouldn't be surprising. It seemed like it was pretty traumatic what was going on.
Hmm. Well, and,
Um,
and Daryl's, he's got two black eyes and he's not looking all that hot.
no, it's not good,
Um,
and we can kinda see that there's, like, some kinda fight going on,
yeah. And they're
so.
pretty much out in the middle of nowhere, so it probably wouldn't be all that hard to, get rid of the body if
Right.
that's what Meryl did.
Can you imagine? Like, no. They had to get rid of his body? No, no.
Well,
And
it'd be a
no.
lot more inconvenient if they kept it in the trailer.
I know, right? Yeah. Got these kids burying a body? Oh my god.
I'm just saying. Okay.
I In the before times? Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I
But
guess.
I mean, because again, Daryl and Merle had been out on their own for a while, and Daryl never really got into why, but he has said several times in the past that him and his brother had been on their own.
Mhm.
It'd just been the 2 of them for a long time.
Mhm.
Um, and Daryl looks probably about, let's say about 14, 12,
Mm.
14, somewhere like that.
Mhm.
And, he wasn't that old when the apocalypse started.
Right.
It's been
But, like, he
about,
was, like, maybe his early 20s, if that,
yeah,
maybe, like, 21 or something?
so honestly, yeah, somewhere I would have said between 18 and 24, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
And because it's been about, what, 14 years or so?
something like that, I don't know. I don't
You
even
know,
bother counting anymore. Trying to count.
yeah, I know. So, I think, but I kind of wonder if this is, like I said, the reason why this moment that he just keeps kind of circling around is this is the day his dad dies.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, again, like, so once it's fully revealed and maybe it's something he forgot and it's trying to come back to him. I don't know. Because, like we saw with, Carol, she saw Sophia in the tunnel, right? And
Mhm.
that kind of allowed her to kind of work through that and go forward. So, whatever this is, hopefully it's something that will let go of him and he can move forward from whatever
Yeah.
he thinks. Maybe that's why I think maybe it's something he forgot and, it's in his subconscious, so it's coming up in the dream. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, his past, his childhood and stuff was actually brought up a lot last season too.
Mhm.
Who are you? What kind of person are you? Blah 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 blah
Mhm.
blah. And he kind of hints around, my I didn't have a good childhood, things were kind of bad, you don't understand, kind of thing. But yeah, he this is a whatever. And again, if it turns out to be nothing, I'll be very upset. But from everything that they've been building up to, this is a pivotal moment, and we know Merle doesn't die.
Right.
Um, so my guess is his dad does.
Mm-hmm.
And for all we know, it may not have been Merle. It might have been Daryl.
Yeah, he might have came back and did something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to save his
trying to
brother.
save his brother. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, man. Well, we're gonna see. I hope whatever it is fully realized next week on the finale, and we can just kinda move forward after that.
Yep.
'Cause it has only one more episode. I don't know. I did not look it up. Do you know if next week's episode is supposed to be any longer than normal or if it's just a regular episode? Do you know?
I don't know. I could look it up real quick if you want me to.
Yeah, sure. If you can, I'm curious to see
All
if it's
right.
any longer.
Let me see here. Hang
Yeah,
on.
because I don't think any of these episodes in this season so far have had a longer runtime. I think
I
they've
don't.
all been regular.
Yeah, they've all been right around like 46 minutes or so.
Yeah,
So.
because they've got quite a bit to do next episode. So we've got to clear up Daryl's situation or his dream
Hmm.
situation. He's got to find Justina and the other girl, Elena, and then free whoever else he's going to free. And they've got to figure out what to do with Roberto and Antonio,
Hmm.
basically. And are they going to stay or go? Are they going to get on that boat or not? They've got a lot to do.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Yes, yes. I know it's in 6 days. What I want to know is episode in.
I'll come back to it if it doesn't pop up. But
Yeah, it's. I mean, right now it's just telling me that it's all information is not available. I think it's my thing. It doesn't like to give me stuff sometimes.
okay. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. But um, I think either they're gonna hit it out the park with the finale and I'll be satisfied or I'll be, "Whoa," complaining so bad because they're gonna have so many plot holes because they had to hurry up and tie everything up really quickly.
Yeah.
So, one extreme or the other, I'm sure.
Well, let's hope for a nice. I don't expect him to answer everything because we do have one more season left.
Mhm.
Um, but it would be nice if we get a nice conclusion to some of the storylines, a nice wrapping up of, and not just leaving them all the ends just fraying all over the place, flapping in the wind.
I'm gonna be a little disappointed if they end up in the next season exactly where they are. Like, they don't even leave. Nothing he's still here. They're still here.
Yeah.
For some reason, that would disappoint me to have a final season in Spain. I don't know why exactly, but I don't want that. But I
They ha
think that's what we're gonna get.
I mean, I would like to see us at the end of at the end of this season with them on the boat.
Mhm.
That's what I would like.
Yeah, off to wherever their last adventure is before they get home.
Mhm. I mean, and they could, just because they're heading to North America doesn't mean they have to hit North America. I mean, they could end up in Florida or, you know, the equator, and they have to make their way north. I'd be okay with that. You know,
Mhm.
that they landed, somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico
Mhm.
where they, weirdly ran into what's his name? Uh from Fear the
Morgan?
Walking Dead.
Morgan?
Morgan.
Yeah. Actually, that could be kind of fun.
That'd be funny. Oopsie. Well, we'll just keep going north.
Yeah. I am curious to see what they do. So I am excited for the finale. This season in general has been a good season for
Uh-huh.
me. I think it's been one of the better ones, to be honest. Like, I actually like this season better than the first season.
Yeah, I have liked this one a lot, actually.
Mhm. Yeah, the second season was okay just because they brought Carol back, and so there was a lot going on with that. So it's kinda hard to compare them because 'cause they're so different, but this is the most entertaining
Yeah.
to me.
It's like they really hit their stride with this one.
Mhm. Mhm. They need to keep the momentum going and just keep the story tight and, like, close up some of these plot holes, that's all. You're not gonna and you're right, because there's one more season, we're not gonna get everything answered.
Right. And that's
But
okay.
yeah.
But it would be nice to, you know, what's happening in this dream with Daryl. Yeah, I
Mhm.
really don't want it to go another full season before we find out.
Yeah, because 'cause we're just getting, like, these random glimpses when he's sleeping here and
Uh-huh.
there, and that's unsatisfying to me. Like, what is this?
Mhm.
I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for him to grow from whatever he's supposed to learn from this and move on. Let's grow some more and change your character a little bit,
Yeah.
you know? Like Carol, she's always evolving. Even though she's kind of the same at her core, she's still evolving.
Yeah.
She's not the same person she was on the other show.
Right. No, and she's
Or
not. And
yeah.
that's good. And that's, I mean, Daryl's different too,
Mhm.
but he's kind of stayed the same here recently.
Look, I always say every season, this man looks so dirty. You never know. Can we
He
get him
doesn't
looking
he doesn't look
look,
terribly dirty right there in that picture.
no, in this particular scene, maybe he fell in some water, I don't know. Oh, I don't know why they just have him looking like that to me, I don't know. Everyone else can manage. Heck, you know, Antonio taking a shower?
That's true. Very true. And the water
Hmm,
was even warm. Oh,
yeah,
he said. Yeah.
that's what he said. But apparently in the little after thing, it was very cold.
Yes.
I'm like, "Why y'all torturing me? Can't you just go get some hot water?"
I know. I
Jeez.
that was my thought too.
Like, don't we have a budget? Can we get some hot water?
Is it really that hard to get hot water?
Get the intern to go get some hot water. I don't know. Something.
Yeah. Could we run this to existing plumbing?
Right.
Yeah.
Something. Because why you gotta be miserable and you're recording? Come on.
Right.
That sucks for him. Trying to think. What else? Anything else you think?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we kind of started at the end. That's my fault. Sorry, guys. But, and worked our way backwards.
Yeah, we did. But we jump around. That's our thing. We jump around anyway. So it is what it is. This was a good conversation. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening for the entire hour. We appreciate you for doing that. And yeah, leave us comments on this video or comments on Spotify. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening because we'll be back again next week for the finale and you want to get that notification. So if you enjoyed this discussion, also be sure to leave us a 5-star rating wherever you're listening. That would help other TWDU fans find the podcast. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.